We formed a nonprofit to help get donors to sponsor and buy glasses for kids in underserved areas, and that worked great for a while. And then in 2022, last summer, when all the suicide data came out, it had spiked so high because of the pandemic, among other things, blue light being one of the things that can cause anxiety and depression. We decided to shift the mission of the nonprofit to help kids overcome anxiety, depression, and suicide. We got pretty aggressive at putting things together. My friend from college, Maurice, was helping me out at the time, and we just decided we were going to do this. And Bailey came on board, and we decided to kind of gamify it to where people could earn entry points into contests to win prizes like laptops or computers or phones. And by sharing the message, they get activated into it. And then I was talking with Maurice about kind of what we were trying to accomplish, and I said, "Oh, that'd be a great idea for a script." So I said, "Let me call you back in an hour." I wrote this script, sent it to him. We started talking about it, revising, and I called my really good friend Melissa Kirkendall, who's a producer. She brought in this great cinematographer, Jake Wilganowski, and I spoke with a good friend of mine in town here, Lucas Foster, who's a wonderful movie producer, and asked him a whole bunch of advice, and we made this little short film about suicide. So that's kind of we're trying to hope that this becomes a viral thing about, there's two sides to this because we've lost people who've committed suicide. The overwhelming thing I remember from myself and hearing from other people is I knew something was wrong. I wish I would have said something. And the other thing is the stigma about asking for help when people are struggling, especially guys will tend to not want to reach out.
So you have one person who's afraid to say something or not sure, and then the other who's afraid to ask for help.
Right.
So everyone's just afraid.
Everyone's afraid and they don't do anything. And suddenly
the worst happens.
The worst happens. And it's happened several times in our family. We're trying to promote and push this fun. You are loved is our hashtag.
I love the shirts.
And our Hope Chain Challenge is akin to the ALS challenge, but rather than dumping ice and water over yourself, you basically make a quick video saying, "Hey, this is Dan. I've been anxious and depressed in my life sometimes, and thankfully there are people around who loved me. I just want to know there are people out there who love you, and hashtag you are loved. And by the way, I'm tagging you, Maria, and you, Kevin. You're next in the Hope Chain Challenge." So our idea is to continue to spread this message of love and hope.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, you think about the world we live in today, we're so bogged down with our health, with our life, with our relationships, with our families, with the news and the doom and gloom and all that sort of thing. And sometimes you don't realize how you feel until you're, feeling it too hard, And so it's really important for us to be able to share that message that, you are loved, you are supported. There are people here to help you. And I know for us, we really want to be that person in everyone's life around us. Like, we're here for you with whatever you need. And you think about like blue light toxicity and how it affects your emotions, it affects your anxiety, causes you to be depressed and all those things. And then you add whatever your input is too, right? So what are we looking at when we're looking at our phone, right? What is the news saying these days? What are we looking at? There's so much negative out there, right? And it's been proven that negative is 10 times more powerful than the positive. And so we need to overload ourselves with positive. And so we're trying to share those positive messages and reducing that stigma and be able to, really tell everybody that, like, hey, there's good out there. You are good. There's good in the world, and you can have that hope. So that's really where we're looking to go with this. Yeah.
Great.
So you guys are going to tag me and Kevin in this Hope Chain, and then we're going to tag the HealSquad. And then we need the HealSquad to come through and do this and tag everybody else.
Can we back up a little bit? Because I've used to work with kids, and I've just seen this alarming increase in the rate. So I pulled it up, and I'm sure, Bailey, you know this, but I just wanted to let everyone else out there know that in adolescents, in the last 10 years, there's been a 48% increase in suicides.
What?
Yeah.
48%?
Mm-hmm. And in young adult, in the last 10 years, and then in young adults, a 39% increase. So this is something that I just see going up and up and up, but like at an alarming rate.
You've been saying it forever.
Not 1 or 2% a year.
Absolutely.
Like an alarming rate. So
the number one killer of kids used to be car wrecks, and now I think suicide is it.
Right. So, so Bailey, especially you, because you're young, and so you're in the middle of all this. What do we say to the parents or the young people listening to this? Like, like, how do we help? I was told by somebody older than me when someone had committed suicide once. He said to me, that's because somebody didn't take the time to see that person and hear what was going on. And so I think it really triggered me when you said what you said about, nobody talked to that person or questioned. So, I'd love to hear, because I'm sure a lot of parents listening are petrified of their kids, and they kind of have a right to right now when you look at these statistics.
Absolutely. And the statistics are really hard to track too, because you can track the rate of the suicides, right? But you can't track the suicidal ideation or people who experience it or people who maybe didn't attempt suicide or, maybe attempted and didn't actually commit. Does that make sense? So it's such an alarming number, but I think it's
worse.
even worse. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then you think about, we're so connected, but we're so isolated at the same time, And so when you look at, your friends, right, or your parents or your kids, and it's so important to have those connection times. And I think you hit the nail on the head, Kevin, when you said people just want to be heard. People just want to feel like there's somebody to listen to them or to feel what they're feeling or to understand or have that empathy. And so it's really important to just connect with those people around you and make sure that the door is open, right? It's not slammed shut. It's not locked. The door is open. Like, hey, I'm here for you. If there's anything that you need, if there's anything that you want to talk about, I'm here for you. I want to help you, and that's even if you don't suspect something, right? Making sure that there's that open communication so that if there is something that comes up, then they know they have a place to come talk to.
Yeah. It just hit me when you were talking that we're all connected. Yes. Yay, great, but we're isolated. So when you look at people at a restaurant, you look at people at an airport, everyone is literally like this.
Head down on the
Everyone's heads down. They're not talking to the partner. Well, you're at dinner. You're not talking to your partner or whoever's in front of you. So what's happening is we're being talked at all day. This influencer's telling me what clothes to buy. That influencer's telling me, okay, great, some health stuff. Everyone's talking at us. We're consuming and swallowing it all. And by the way, if you're feeding yourself dark stuff, now you just swallowed a bunch of scary stuff. And there's no talking. That's the problem. It's these phones.
Yeah.
We're not connecting. We're not looking at each other in the eyes. So we're not used to it. So how could you go approach somebody and tell someone, I'm scared, I'm not having good thoughts, or,
One of our goals is to get people all over the planet wearing these shirts. And it's so fun when you go out wearing this You Are Loved shirt. The reactions you get every time I wear one out in public, somebody will come up and say, thank you for wearing that shirt.
Aww.
I love it. It's just a like.
Yeah, I sent it to my brother. He loved it. I was like, I said, haha, I think I cracked a joke about at least the dogs love you. I cracked a joke. Yeah.
Somebody loves you.
Yeah.
Right?
So that we're raising money to continue promoting this, but we're also raising money for these things called Hope Squads. They started in Utah by this guy, Dr. Greg Hudnall, I think is his name, 10 or 15 years ago. And
we love a squad.
He's a good squad. Yeah, Hope Squad too. Hope and Heal. So he started it in Utah in his school district, and within 3 years, he went from an alarming rate of suicides to 0.
Wow.
And so there are 1,700 of these Hope Squads across the country, and it costs roughly $5,000 to get them set up in every school. So our goal is to get them in all 66,000 schools across the United States.
Oh, wow.
They're peer-led groups of kids that get trained. So if there's a child who's struggling, they can go to one of their peers and talk about it. And the child who is trained will learn to recognize these triggers and these symptoms, and then reach out to a trusted advisor, an adult, bring in the support and help they need. So it's really this great thing that these kids in these schools, and the school we shot the video at is Timber Creek High School in Fort Worth, Texas, and my neighbor's the principal there. So I got to sit down with these kids who are on these Hope Squads, and it's so uplifting. It's so wonderful to see these kids who are just on fire to love each other and to help. and it's really a great thing
I love that.
because they can connect, and it's like, we're Gen X, but they love to call us boomers, so it's they don't want to reach out to mom or dad, so they have these other kids they can reach out to.
So you buy the shirt,
Buy the shirt, wear it. Yeah,
and the proceeds are going to building these Hope Squads.
correct.
Okay.
Yeah, buy the shirt,
know.
donate, join in, sign up, tag, follow, join the contest, win stuff.
We'll put all of that in the links.
Yeah.
In this summary.
And I really want to plug the band who let us use their song Little Image. They're from Dallas. The song Bottles that we used in the video is so beautiful. And they're a bunch of really cool young kids. So really
Yeah, we'll
great
put a
fun.
link to the video too. It was
Yeah.
great, actually.
Yeah,
I really
thank you.
enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It was another
was-
catalyst for us getting on the phone.
That was my pretty big flex for my first film ever made.
I love it.
Yeah, he wrote, directed, and produced that his first time. It was really impressive to
With
see.
my good friend Melissa.
Yes.
Yeah, she's
Nice.
awesome. Yeah. She knows what she's doing.
Dan is a man of many talents. Mold, blue light glasses, short films,
Yeah, medical clinic.
medical clinics,
100 kids.
80,000 kids.
Yeah.
Well, Dan, this has been very educational. And Bailey, thank you so much for sharing everything about Hope Chain. We're going to put everything in the summary of this episode. And
And I'll send you links and the
yeah,
top
you have your
10 list.
homework.
Yeah, I've
We
got
need
my
our
homework.
top 10 list of things to buy and do for mold poisoning and all
General
of that.
health. Yeah.
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 Awesome.
Thank you
Thanks,
so much.
guys.
And the best way to thank Dan and Bailey for doing all this for you is to support their cause.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's our cause.
It is our cause.
Yeah, we're really
Everybody's
excited
cause.
about it. We're going to do these weekly Hope Chain challenges after the first one is out, and once we have a few more people on board. But it'll be go out and hug 5 strangers, go visit an old person, call somebody you haven't talked to in over a year, tell them you love them. So we want to spread the love because
We need it.
we need it bad. There's a bunch
Yeah.
of negativity.
And
Yeah.
that's how we'll connect. You said we're all so isolated, but if we have these challenges where we're reaching out to our friends online, but then reaching out to people in person, we can all get connected that way and build a culture of hope and culture of love and positivity.
Oh, yeah, and we have a 2-day youth group challenge that we've developed that we're giving away for free to youth groups.
Oh, cool.
So that'll be up on the website too, hopechain.com.
All right. I love it. I told Kevin after brain surgery, he's like, what do you want to do? I'm like, I just want to hug people. Like, I wish that could be my job.